Welcome to yet another edition of the Phil Taylor Jones Show. We come to you yet again with a heavy heart as we have lost another plane load of innocent people. EgyptAir was lost night before last. Innocent lives gone. At the hands possibly of terrorists? Yes. I'm Phil Taylor Jones, your host, and we're going to be discussing quite a few things during our time together, so sit back and relax and get comfortable, because here we go. Yes, the aircraft went down. It went down in a very strange way, making violent turns left and right, and then dropping out of sight. Even the minister, Egypt travel minister, stated that because of the characteristics of how the plane went down, he basically would rule out pilot error or mechanical failure, so that would leave one other irrefutable conclusion, that would be terrorism. Again, I say this comes from the travel minister, aviation minister of Egypt. It was also backed up by the brigadier general. Same thing, terrorism at the forefront of this aircraft going down and these 69 people losing their lives. Went off without a hitch. Donald Trump says the same thing here in America, and oh boy, everybody jumps on the guy, but that's no big surprise because we're dealing with Donald Trump here. This guy is no good. He's a dirtbag. He's he's just the lowest of the low. He's a hate monger. He's an Islamophobe. He has done everything up to and including taking down the Twin Towers. I'm surprised they don't have the poor guy choking out babies. He's just scum of the earth. So naturally, anything he would say is just a bunk. Yeah, right. Donald Trump said it, and anybody with an ounce of brains would have thought the same thing. Anytime something horrible goes around, we have a pretty good idea of where to start looking, and that's at the hands of the terrorists. Folks, I just don't get the mentality of people in our country, in a lot of different countries, perhaps the world. It is just uncanny at the stupidity that is exhibited by folks these days. They were talking about it, we were listening very intently on telly about this incident, and they were talking about coming out of France. It was surprising that something like this would happen because they're so tight on security, especially after all of the problems that have gone on in France, from Charlie Hebdo on down to the most recent attack in Paris, and not to mention Brussels and here. So the airport is just so tight on security that a mouse with sneakers couldn't even get through. But that's not the case, is it? Something happened to that airplane. And I don't understand how people can taunt their security and put shining stars and a band of glory on their security when you are so quick to let any and everybody in your country. After they get in there, they can do anything. Look at London and how idiotic and stupid they are. They have elected one of these potential killers to office. One of the highest, posts you can have is a mayor. That's a pretty good seat in government because usually you go from mayor to governor, from governor to senator, just from senator to, representative, president. You're going up the line. Or whatever it is in your respective country. Very stupid. Shows that this bastard that they elected didn't have any good intention at heart. We're talking London, England. This is not only a major metropolitan city, but it's one of the most desired spots for vacationers, tourists. So, this guy has a big seat. But what does he do? Just days of being elected, he goes around and attacks Donald Trump some 8,000 or so miles away, not concerning himself with the running and the day-to-day operations of this huge city that he's just recently, very recently, been elected to. So that shows the mentality of these creeps. Okay, so they're all over Paris, France, all over. And once again, looking at the unrest in Paris as we speak, they're over there and they're in key positions. Possibly a key position at the airport, already there. You don't necessarily have to go through security. You work there. Or maybe there's minimal security. Or maybe there's tight security, but you can pass things from hand to hand. You don't let these people in your country. One, you don't know what desires they have to get rid of people in your country. They don't pay allegiance to your country. They don't have an alliance with your country. They don't belong in your country. So I don't give a tinker's damn how good your security system is. Security begins with a locked door. That being said, on our side of the ticket, Donald Trump understands that. Oh, well, he's just speaking because the people are angry and they gravitate to him. No, it's not that the people are angry, although they are, because of mismanaged government that has been mismanaged some 40 years or more. Because the same problems that we face today were the same problems that we faced in the 70s. You can look at any TV show, Good Times, All in the Family, Sanford and Son, other shows that are on television. They speak about the same trials and tribulations that we're going through today. So, it hasn't worked for us. It's time that we got somebody in there to shake up things. And that's what Donald Trump has done. He's shaken up a lot of things. He's shaken loose a lot of things. Because these politicians are just that. They only care about politics. They care about their own local politics, what their party is going through, whether or not their party is unified. They don't care about the people, which is the main crux for these parties to be implemented in the first place. They spend billions of dollars for nothing in this country. And I'm talking about this country right now. We face the same crapola as other countries. Why? Because of deadhead politicians not paying attention to the needs of the people. They'd rather go and fight for something that's totally stupid, like going to the bathroom, than fighting for senior citizens who haven't gotten a cost of living adjustment or COLA in 3 years. This being the third, or next year being the third year, or fourth year. Is it fourth? Third year. That senior citizens and Social Security recipients will not get a cost of living adjustment. And everything is going up. People are going out of business because the economy is so poor. I don't give a damn whether or not they try to come up with all this rhetoric that it's so great. If it's so great, then there would seem to be less people living on the streets. There would be less people complaining. But as I said before in other shows, just because these hedge funds, creeps, and these other muckety-mucks in the financial world can go and buy Monopoly, play Monopoly buying real buildings, and because they can invest $200,000 or $300,000 in pork bellies or hedge funds, it's good for them. Stop playing games. Tell the truth. The economy sucks like a Hoover vacuum cleaner, or Dyson if you want to get into the new age of vacuums. So it's time for somebody to get in there who doesn't give a damn about the establishment, but gives a damn about the people. Now, while Donald Trump may not be perfect, and I never once intimated that he was, he's, goofed up on a few, things in my book, like this Muzzy thing now. He's saying, oh, it's just a suggestion. You stand by your guns. Either you don't want them here and you stick by that. Don't be a mamby-pamby. Stick to your guns. They're dangerous, potentially dangerous. Every one of them. Until proven wrong. I flipped it. You're not innocent until proven guilty. You're guilty until you prove yourself innocent. They claim that they have the most friendly religion in the world. Yeah. It's so friendly it'll kill you. So yeah, I don't want them here. They've been here all along. But here of late, say 2001, Somehow they got desperately violent. And a lot of them, like I said, even the run-of-the-mill ones are weird and strange and exhibit characteristics that we as American people don't want here. And to you, old bastard, let me tell you something, you snivelly-faced, turd-faced bastard. You don't speak for me. Well, that's not who we are as Americans. You don't know who the hell I am as an American, you piece of crap. That's the way I am as an American. No, I don't want them over here. You love them. You like them. You tolerate them. You whatever them. I don't. So don't presume to tell me how I am as an American because you don't know, idiot. You just figure out who you are as the piece of crap that you are. Barack, oh bastard. I'm sick of you trying to talk for me. You don't talk for me. I didn't vote for your stupid ass. And even if I did, I don't give you carte blanche to talk for me after all the crap you pulled, you idiot. Having said that, these governmental idiots that we have in office now are the degradation of this nation. Look at what's going on. Wake up and smell the damn muzzies. They're coming in here by the plane load, sneakily, on cargo jets, UPS jets, FedEx jets, cargo jets. You know, the big ones with no windows on them except for the pilot's window and maybe a few in the passenger or in the doors of the plane. It's not a quick change version of any aircraft where you can take the seats out and prepare for cargo. These are straight on cargo planes. And if they're transporting live human beings, or a reasonable facsimile thereof, on these planes, you got to figure about the legal ramifications even of that. But you think about old bastard who doesn't care about legality, and there you go. These people, there's no seats on these planes. They're sitting on their butts on the floor. And a lot of you probably don't know about the inner workings of a cargo jet. It's a floor, that's riddled with rollers so that they can roll these big pods from the front of the aircraft to the rear. And then they, stack them accordingly. And then they shut the door, take off, and deliver the stuff wherever it needs to go. So there are no seats on these cargo jets. That means there are no seat belts on these cargo jets. So they're stuffing them in there like sardines. What if they should run into something that pilots know as clear air turbulence? Or maybe turbulence that isn't so clear air. And you got people bouncing around in there and flying all over the place because they're not lashed down. You could kill somebody. There have been chronicled incidences of airliners where people are walking around and, at the lounge and what have you, and the pilot runs into some clear air turbulence, and the plane starts violently dipping, and what happened. People have been lifted. I mean, grown men, grown women have been lifted, feet, I'm not talking inches, feet off the floor of the aircraft. There have been holes in the ceiling where they have actually crashed through. There have been broken limbs. A few people have even gotten killed because when they fall, they'll crack a head against the seat or break a neck or something like that. So we're talking about something that's potentially, deadly. And then you think about, what if the aircraft would run into a situation where it would need oxygen? Well, as you know, if you're a traveler, if there's a trouble with oxygen, the oxygen mask falls from the overhead panel. Well, if there's no overhead panel, you have no oxygen. The only oxygen is up in the cockpit with the pilots, because that's who's only on the plane, on the cargo plane, is a pilot and co-pilot, engineer possibly, or navigator. So this is a potentially dangerous thing. And then they're sneakily coming into the airport, not through the terminal, but over by the cargo section. And, a few wonderful citizens and or employees caught this action and documented it and put it on social media. So my question is, how many of them are actually over here? And how long have they been doing this nasty little practice? We could have upwards of 1 million of them or more over here and wouldn't really know it because of this covert way they have of doing the crap that they do. So yeah, Donald Trump is right. I don't know why he backtracked on that, and said it was just a suggestion. But the first initial thing, I'm being like Alex Trebek on Jeopardy. I'm going to go with his first response, that we should not allow them into this country until they are properly investigated. That was his words. Phil Taylor Jones' words are, we shouldn't allow them into the country, period. End of story. Like I said, I have no need for foreigners. I don't want them here. Legal, illegal, whatever. We have enough of them already that we've got to worry about. We don't need any newbies coming in to stir the damn pot. Now, let's just talk about the news media and how they're skirting around this issue. Not really saying anything about terrorism. Not really saying anything about anything because they're controlled by the Democrats. It's a funny thing. There is not one person out there, and we know this isn't true, ladies and gentlemen. There's not one person out there that likes Donald Trump or even thinks of him in a decent way. He's a mobster. He's a rapist. He's a child molester. He even kicks old ladies trying to go and, cash your Social Security checks. Dogs are afraid of him because he's mangled and killed dogs. Trees are afraid of him. This guy is the worst thing that ever came out from between two legs, as people would have it. Well, I find that strange. And as I said before on so many other shows, people, if you use an ounce of your brain, you would find it strange as well. Even a broken clock is right twice per day. The man has no redeeming qualities. He's unfit to be a president. He's unqualified to be a president. Well, to that I say, the only person that may qualify to be a president is a second-term president. And as I said, maybe because that's contingent upon what he did in his first term. So is there a presidential college that you can go to where you can study up and bone up on how to be a president? I don't think so. But they down the fella on every turn. Yet, he keeps surging through. Why? Because he has a message for the people. He has a message that the people can agree with because it's their message. Two things I'm hoping, for the fella. One, that he doesn't flip-flop any more than he already has, because that could hurt him. And two, who he chooses for a vice president or a running mate. That could make or break him. I hope that he chooses very wisely, because that quick ladder that he rose to get to the top, if he picks the wrong candidate, it can throw him right on his butt. So I hope that he's, very diligent in that. Because, Slithery Clinton is going around saying that she is going to be the nominee for her party. No ifs, ands, or buts. So old Grandpa Sanders might as well just throw his little supporters her way, because she's going to be it and a bag of chips. And you know what? I tend to believe her, because of all the crookedness that is American politics, superdelegates, and all of this crap that they have as a failsafe to get a dirtbag in there that they feel that they can work with and they can get to cheat for them and to do their bidding. The Koch brothers and this Soros and all these other creepios that they have out there. It's a calculated, nasty, filthy game, American politics. And I'm hoping that somebody could get in there that could tear it down. Seems to be Donald Trump. Like I said, I don't agree with everything the man says. I don't think anybody in their right mind would. But he possesses something that's so different and so far removed from the mainstream and establishment system that we have going now that has not worked for us. People can get behind it. People are getting behind Bernie Sanders the same way. Even I had thought kind of favorably of Sanders as an alternative in case Trump didn't make it. But I cannot honestly support anybody who has anything good to say about O'Bastard. If anybody should be the devil in the deep blue sea and nothing has gone right, it should be him. But I cannot back anybody like that. Yeah, Bernie Sanders has some, crazy socialist ideas, but he seems to be far removed from Slithery Clinton and O'Bastard. But again, how removed is he when he keeps saying wonderful things about he's a good president and yada, yada, yada? I can understand his position, I guess, because he feels he needs a platform to run on, as independents do not have a platform to run on. So many independents out there that we could possibly be looking at as an alternative if Trump doesn't make it. But we don't know who they are. Why? Because of greedy Republicans and greedy Democrats. This nation has become a joke. We used to be strong when we had generals like MacArthur and Patton and Eisenhower, people that didn't take any crap. Look at this Trudeau up in Canada apologizing for about something that happened about 100 or so years ago when they didn't let some muzzies into Canada. And he's standing up there apologizing for it. Way to go, Canada. You got a real strong leader there. Just like we do. He's a Canadian O'Bastard. Don't apologize to these idiots. Whoever that president was or that prime minister of Canada who saw fit to keep them out was looking out for the needs of Canadians. I applaud the guy. And here you come along 100 years later with your mealy mouth and you apologize. How weak is that? And to our leader, choke on the word. God, jackass. He goes around to different countries apologizing for what other maybe stronger presidents than he is chose to do to keep American people safe. So if you're behind all of the crap that's going on in this country, letting these people in here by way of cargo jets and maybe even cargo ships, better start checking the ports to make sure that the belly of a cargo ship isn't full of them. You're not doing what is safe for the American people, oh bastard. So the words in light of national security should never come out of your mouth, you jackass, because you have done nothing to make sure that American people are safe. Yeah, you're turning around now and you're getting rid of the Hispanics because you've used them. You used them to get into office. You've used a lot of them to get Slithery Clinton in office. But now those you feel that you don't need anymore, you're deporting. And yet you Hispanic folks out there, you guys kind of need to wake up and spell the coffee too. The Democrats don't care anything about you. They're users. American politics sucks like a Dyson vacuum cleaner. Will the U.S. get into the investigation of the downed Egyptian airliner? Why would you stick your nose in anybody else's business unless there were some American people on that plane? This is between France, and it's between Egypt, and it's between ISIS or whoever the hell brought that plane down. You ain't got no business to stick your nose in anything, John Scary. What a jackass you are. They blacked your eye in Italy some months ago. They should have broken your neck, you puffy head jackass. And so here we are, right in the middle of being watchful whether or not the terrorists are coming over here. Well, you better clean off your glasses or your binoculars, ladies and gentlemen, and maybe put the binoculars down because they're already here. Possibly 1 million strong as of maybe 3 months ago, because they're coming in cargo jets. What can Brown do for you? FedEx. They're being FedExed over here. They're being UPS'd over here. The question is it the 10,000 or possibly 100,000 that John Scary and O'Bastard and Slithery Clinton first projected, or is it now over 1 million? Because we don't know how long they've been doing it. As I said before, thanks to the people who brought this to the forefront on social media, we owe you a debt of gratitude, because we wouldn't have known. Because we're looking for them in the terminals to come through. We wouldn't have ever thought that they'd be on the backside of the airport in the cargo section coming through with the little bags of crap they have. I say we're flooded with them, 10 million or more. My brother was out the other day, and he was taking public transportation, and it's subway, and all over the subway there's like a group of them. They're handing out leaflets, I guess, for their Islamic religion, the friendly one, that'll get you killed. There's just a line of them, and they're just corralled around people, circular, so they're here in numbers, and they're visible. If there were only 10,000 or 100,000 of them over here, you'd probably barely see them on a rock this size. But they're over here, and they're over here in big numbers. And they're keeping money away from people that really need it, like our veterans, our Social Security recipients, our disabled, and they're providing them with all kinds of perks. So yeah, I believe it was ISIS that brought down that Egyptian jet. They've been having problems with Paris. They don't like Parisians. They don't like Egyptians. They don't like anybody. So yeah, I believe it. Donald Trump believes it. And he didn't say that it definitely was terror. He said looks like, but because they want to twist and mangle every word the man says. Oh yeah, he's already being irresponsible for saying it was ISIS that terrorized the airplane, brought it down. He's already said he did not. I read the guy's tweet or twit or whatever the hell you call it. It says looks like. Not out of the ordinary, as the Egyptian Brigadier General and the Minister of Travel and Aviation said the same damn thing. Wake up. Just say, okay, I don't want the man to be president because I don't like him. But don't go and create all these crazy things, ludicrous things, especially in lieu of the fact, or in light of the fact, that you got some criminal, some rogue, some creep, some bastard, some delirious bitch like Slithery Clinton running for president. How dare you fix up your mouth to say anything weird about somebody else when you got a dirtbag like that running? I think I've held my temper pretty good, I think. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to let the exec speak here before I lose it, because I could. Exec, you're on.
Very big kudos for you for that indeed. I got a lot to say as well, and I'd like to start off by also expressing my deepest condolences for all the lives lost, all the family and friends of those lost for this senseless terrorist act. It's ridiculous. Every time you turn around, not even a month goes by before some other terrorist act happens. And speaking of possible confirmation of ISIS, and I'll start by saying the end of this post on this website. There's a website called Newsday. They couldn't verify the veracity of the statement. But here's the statement. ISIS AMAQ, AMAQ. It's an official Islamic State news agency. Released statement that says its fighters put bomb on Egypt Airbus that was headed from Paris to Cairo in Egypt. Celebrations were reported in Raqqa, RAQQA, I guess a place over there. De facto of the brutal militia. It hasn't been confirmed, but it's been possibly confirmed, And it's more than obvious, like you said, the plane veering left and right. It's not normal, for something like that to happen, And as far as, this Trump thing goes, I don't know why he did say that it was just a suggestion after all those many months of it being an actual decision that he was planning on making. That was wishy-washy, and he shouldn't be doing that, and the people shouldn't be against him, like you said, with this pitiful dirtbag Hillary or Slithery. You see all these people at his Trump's rallies trying to stop him. Nobody's trying to protest her rallies. And
or if they are, they don't publicize it.
Mm-hmm. And I saw something also the other night. If anybody watches the TV show called Bones, you'll notice that they had a Muzzy person hired to be one of the anthropologist's assistants or whatever his job title is. Immediately upon seeing him, I figured he's a plant to try to get people to not be scared of Islam, to get people away from this Islamophobia. This show was done 2 years ago in 2014, before the term Islamophobia even became well known. Now, and I know that's what the case was because one of the cast members lost a loved one or lost a girlfriend or something like that, and he went in there all peaceful like and gave her a mixtape and I want you to feel peace and happiness and everything. That was ridiculous. And then he actually yelled at one point to someone and then apologized. Shouldn't have yelled like that. Let me go pray. And then he goes in there and sticks his butt up in the air and everything. And this person in the show portrayed a liar also. He was faking a Muzzy accent, and later on they found him out and everything, which was really bad as well. But the thing that really caught my eye was an episode yesterday called The Patriot and the Purgatory. And one of the victims that they were trying to identify was from 9/11, actually. So they were trying to work on this person. And regarding 9/11, this is what Mr. Arastu Vaziri had to say about 9/11. This was not the work of religion. It was arrogance. It was hypocrisy. It was hate. Those horrible men who hijacked those planes hijacked my religion that day too. They insulted my God, so no, this isn't too difficult. It's a privilege to be able to serve this victim, to be able to show him care and love that was so absent that day. Oh God, where's my violins? I'm gonna use I'm gonna use a quote from the movie by Adam Sandler, Mr. Deeds, when the lady that he was liking fell into the ice and told him, who she actually was. He found that she was lying, and she was trying to convince him of who she was concerning that phrase that Muzzy said, bullshit. Excuse my French. It's ridiculous. They're trying everything to go out of their way to convince people not to be scared of them, and they hijacked his religion, its arrogance, and it was hate and everything. No, it was business as usual. That's the way Muzzies are. Some of them are. And it's insane. All these people just have to die just because of their supposed way. The religion was hijacked. Excuse me. No, it wasn't hijacked. People go around saying the United States is the devil, death to America, death to the infidels. Anyone that doesn't want to submit to Islam must be killed. That's your religion.
Islam will take over the world.
Mm-hmm. So, don't give me that BS, And as far as this terrorist attack, it's terrible that this always seems to be happening almost every month, every 2 months. People losing their lives just because of some nutty ass religion, a cult, in my opinion. But I think that's all I can come up with now. So I'll hand it back to you.
Well, you're right. And these people are like an in-your-face group of people. And for anybody to go around talking that their security system is so tight and what have you, is just like dangling the carrot in front of them. Well, let me show you how untight your security system is. We're going to go in there and take one of your planes down. You don't brag about anything, especially when you let anything into your country. You don't know what these people are capable of. Some of them may come in and totally conform to your ways, and they may come in and be Frenchmen, or they may come in and be Englishmen, or they may come in and be full-blown Americans or Spaniards, or wherever they happen to, Turks or Greeks or Italians. They'll come in and conform and be just what you need them to be. But it's a crapshoot. For every one or two that may come in and do what they need to do to assimilate to what you are, there's 15 to 20 that may not. And that's the 15 and 20 that you got to worry about. And it's been confirmed by whom? The folks in the European country, the European Union, that, there may be a great number of terrorists intertwinkled with the refugees. No fooling. With that in mind, you still open your doors. And you got these dried up idiot celebrities like Angelina Jolie. And this idiot Clooney, Looney Clooney, chomping at the bit for them. Shut your stupid mouths and go try to act. And leave politics out of it. Clooney, you couldn't act your way out of a paper bag. As a theater arts teacher, I had children that could act better than you, pal. You may be Rosemary's nephew, but you can't even hold the light to your aunt who could act and sing. And this Jolie person, you're pitiful too. Trying to beat on the tom-toms for a bunch of potential killers to come into their country. So maybe when they get here, as we know they already are on cargo jets, maybe they'll look for you to kill first, pal. It's just totally ridiculous. You know, I will close out the show with this one other statement. We were watching a program on in fact, we were watching the news. It was news on PBS. And I think it's in Wisconsin. There's this gentleman who owns a yogurt stand, shop thingy. And he has requested that people only address he and his workers in English. Don't come up there with your funny languages. You're in America, you speak English. He says a lot of times he has personnel there that they don't speak anything but English. Speak English. You're in an American country. So there's just trying to get a law passed that when you come into these venues, you speak English. So they interviewed, what else? A damn foreigner. Oh, I think he's ignorant for doing that, and he's being racist, and he's being this. But here's the kicker, ladies and gentlemen. These same bastards that go around saying he's being a racist and that they think he's ignorant, guess what? They frequent his yogurt shop every damn day. Why is the man ignorant? He's in America. He's got an American business. He's an American entrepreneur. He sells an American product. And why shouldn't people that come to him speak English? This is supposed to be the chief language in this country. I would go farther to say it should be a nationwide system that everybody speaks English when they go into venues or speak English, period. And it should be deeply enforced by that shopkeeper. You come there speaking another language and say, excuse me, I don't understand what you're saying. Get the hell out of my line. Next, go learn English. When you learn English, come back and you can order something. Next, American speaker, come on up. What do you have, sir, ma'am? Get this person a cup of yogurt. Next person, you don't speak English, get the hell out of my line. Go learn English. It should be that way. Enforce it. There are a lot of laws on the books. They don't enforce them. We don't need, as I said before, new ad hoc committees or new laws we put on the books. Just enforce the ones you already got. Take the Constitution that's approximately 220 years old, 230 years old, and rework it. We should not have to put up with language in our Constitution that these foreigners can beat us over the head with. One, being a refugee. You need to take that crap out of the Constitution. No more refugees. Let them go somewhere else. We don't need any more foreigners in this country. Take that out of the Constitution. And this crap, this load of crap about these bastards, these opportunistic bastards coming over here with their guts poked out and want to drop that bomb in our country so that that little sucker can get, that little sucker can get citizenship. Get that crap out of the Constitution. If you come over here and your guts poked out and you drop that little bomb over here, you take him back to wherever the hell you came from. That's your property. That's your country's problem. We need to take that out of the Constitution. And anything that trips us up as American people, as American legislators, as American law enforcers or lawmakers, we need to take that crap out of the Constitution and let it stand where it needs to be with that foreigner so that foreigner can stay in his own damn country. It has no bearing here. We have given till it hurts. We are in $20 trillion worth of debt. And we're not going to get out of it. And I know we're not going to get out of it if it's business as usual with the likes of, oh, bastard, and Clinton. What's next? Okay, let's just suppose that this bastard gets in there, slithery. She runs 2 terms because they're already saying that, oh, it will be no problem, even if they didn't have the super delegates. It will be no problem for her to, when 2020 comes around, for her to get a second term president. They've already got her in the White House and reaching for a second term. Okay, so just in the morbid way, imagine that happening. It's now time for a new president. Slithery has served 2 terms. So who's next? Chelsea? So we're going to have 3 sets of Clintons in the White House? Come on, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for a change. We thank you so much for joining us for this edition of the Phil Taylor Jones Show and going with us on this crazy, ludicrous ride. And again, on behalf of the exec and myself, our hearts go out to those Parisians and those Egyptians, for the loss of their loved ones. Seems like, you're getting on a plane to go back home or to go to your business meeting or to go to, enjoy your life on a vacation or what have you, whatever reason you're getting on that plane, and to have it cut short by some radical bastards who don't care for life as much as most of us care for a piece of used toilet paper it's just disgusting. And we need to have somebody step in there and do something about it, somebody that means well and knows what to do in order to stop this. Hopefully we'll get it, but to those people, the Phil Taylor Jones Show stands with you. And we hope that you can find some kind of solace and some kind of comfort within your loved ones and your friends and yourselves. We thank you for being with us again. If you want to join our little movement here, there's a button there somewhere, just tap on that. And we thank you. We love you. And without you, we couldn't do it. Stay happy as you can. Stay safe. And we'll see you next time right here on the show. Bye-bye now.